Hello and welcome to today's class of Vedic astrology. So we are in the middle of the topic, that is what are the Yoga Karaka and what are the Maraka planets for all the ascendants, that is for all the Lagna lords. And today we will be completing this particular topic because only three Lagnas are left. One is the Capricorn, next is the Aquarius, and next is the Pisces. All right, the last one. So before you proceed watching today's video, today's class, please watch the earlier classes of this particular topic, that is understanding what is a Yogakaraka planet, what is a Maraka planet, and the Yogakaraka planets, Maraka planets for all the ascendants till Sagittarius. So I will strongly suggest you to watch those videos and then you continue with today's class so that you will be able to understand perfectly whatever I will be speaking and you will be in tune with my words. And so let's start. So you can pause the video and you can draw a Capricorn Lagna chart. All right. So in the Capricorn Lagna, the first house is ruled by Capricorn. The second house is ruled by Aquarius. The third house is ruled by Pisces. The fourth house is ruled by Aries. The fifth house is ruled by Taurus. The sixth house is ruled by Virgo. The seventh house is ruled by Cancer. The eighth house is ruled by Leo. I'm so sorry. The sixth house is ruled by Gemini. I'm extremely sorry for that. The seventh house is ruled by Cancer. The eighth house is ruled by Virgo. The eighth house is ruled by Leo. The ninth house is ruled by Virgo. The 10th house is ruled by Libra. The 11th house is ruled by Scorpio. And the 12th house is ruled by Sagittarius. Alright, so let's understand what are the Yoga Karaka planets and what are the Maraka planets for Capricorn Lagna. Alright, for Capricorn ascendant, for Capricorn rising sign. Alright. So the Lagnesh is Capricorn, that is Saturn. So Saturn will definitely be the Yoga Karaka planet for this particular Lagna chart. So you can write Saturn in the Yoga Karaka column. All right. Now let's look at the second house is also ruled by Saturn. All right. So Saturn is the Yoga Karaka planet. Now let's look at the third house. The third house is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is also ruling the 12th house. So the placement of Jupiter in this particular Lagna chart is not great. It is the lord of the third house and the 12th house. So Jupiter for this particular Lagna chart will become a Maraka planet. Now let's look at the fourth house. The fourth house is ruled by Aries, that is Mars. And Mars is also ruling the 11th house. So Mars in this particular Lagna chart will be a Samgraha, alright, a Sam planet. And I had already discussed multiple number of times when a particular Samgraha, a Sam planet will be completely Yoga Karaka for a particular Lagna chart, or it will be Maraka, alright, it depends upon the placement of that Sam planet. The fifth house is ruled by Taurus, and that is Venus, and Venus also has the lordship of the 10th house. So Venus has excellent placements in this particular Capricorn Lagna. It is the lord of the 5th house, that is a Trikona house, and it is also the lord of the 10th house, that is the Kendra house. All right, so Venus will be a Yoga Karaka planet for Capricorn Lagna. Let's look at Mercury. So Mercury is the lord of the 6th house because the 6th house is ruled by Gemini. And Mercury is also the lord of a Trikona house, that is the 9th house, and it is ruled by Virgo. So Mercury will also become a Yoga Karaka planet for Capricorn Lagna. All right. Now, Jupiter, I had already discussed about Jupiter. Jupiter is a Maraka planet for Capricorn Lagna. Now let's look at Moon. So Moon is the lord of the 7th house. Now, as per the concept, the lord of the 7th house is an enemy of the Lagnesh, that is the lord of the 1st house, that is Saturn. So that's why Moon in this particular Lagna chart will be a Maraka planet. Now one more planet is remaining, that is Sun. Sun will also become a Maraka planet because it is having the lordship of one house, and that house is itself a bad house. It is the 8th house in this Capricorn Lagna, that is ruled by Leo, Sun. So Sun will also become a Maraka planet for Capricorn Lagna. So I had discussed about all of the 7 planets for Capricorn Lagna. Now let's go to Aquarius Lagna. You can pause the video and you can draw Aquarius Lagna chart. All right. So the first house is ruled by 11, Aquarius. The second house is ruled by Pisces. The third house is ruled by Aries. The fourth house is ruled by Taurus. The fifth house is ruled by Gemini. The sixth house is ruled by Cancer. The seventh house is ruled by Leo. The 8th house is ruled by Virgo. The 9th house is ruled by Libra. The 10th house is ruled by Scorpio. The 11th house is ruled by Sagittarius. And the 12th house is ruled by Capricorn. So let's understand what are the Yoga Karaka and what are the Maraka planets for Aquarius Lagna. So Lagnesh here is again Saturn, because Saturn is the lord of the 1st house, it is the planet ruling Aquarius, and Saturn for this particular Lagna chart will be definitely a Yoga Karaka planet. Now the lord of the 2nd house. One second. Okay, so here there will be an exception for whenever I had discussed that if the lord of the 2nd house is an enemy of the Lagnesh, then the lord of the 2nd house will be a Maraka planet. Similarly, if the lord of the 7th house is an enemy of the Lagnesh, the lord of the 7th house will be a Maraka planet for that particular Lagna chart. All right. But in Aquarius Lagna, there is an exception, because you will understand this right now. Here, 2nd house is ruled by Pisces, right? And the planet ruling Pisces is Jupiter. But see, the lord of the 2nd house is Jupiter, and Jupiter is having an enemy relationship, not a friendly relationship with the Lagnesh, that is Saturn. So as per that concept, Jupiter should have been a Maraka planet for Aquarius Lagna, but Jupiter will be a Yoga Karaka planet. The reason being, the 2nd house is a Karaka house for Jupiter, right? The 2nd sthan is a Karaka sthan for Jupiter. Jupiter always performs well when it has the lordship of the 2nd house, or it is placed in the 2nd house, right? Similarly, here in this particular Lagna chart, you will find that Jupiter is also the lord of the 11th house, because the 11th house is ruled by Sagittarius, all right, in this Aquarius Lagna. So here Jupiter is having the lordship of 2 houses, that is the 2nd house and 11th house. And in both of these houses, Jupiter is a Karaka. Jupiter performs very well when that same Jupiter is placed in either of the 2nd house or in the 11th house. So as Jupiter has the lordship of 2 houses, and both of these houses are the Karaka Graha, or are the Karaka Sthan for Jupiter planet, Jupiter in this particular Lagna chart will be a Yoga Karaka planet, alright. Even though Jupiter, the lord of the 2nd house, that is Jupiter, is an enemy of the Lagnesh, but that particular concept will not hold true, because of the reason being Jupiter is the Karaka, the natural significator of the 2nd house, alright. So Karaka means the natural significator. Now the third house is ruled by Aries, and that is Mars. All right. So Mars also has the lordship of the 10th house. So Mars in Aquarius Lagna will again be a Samgraha. All right. The fourth house is ruled by Taurus. That is Venus, and Venus also has the lordship of a Trikona house. That is the 9th house, because the 9th house in this Aquarius Lagna is ruled by Libra. All right. So Venus has the lordship of a Kendra house as well as a Trikona house. So Venus also has excellent placement for an Aquarius Lagna. So Venus will be a Yoga Karaka planet. All right. Now let's come to the 5th house. The 5th house is ruled by Gemini. That is, it is ruled by Mercury. And Mercury also has the lordship of the 8th house. But as Mercury has the lordship of a Trikona house, despite of the fact that Mercury has the lordship of a bad house, that is the 8th house, Mercury in this particular Lagna chart will be a Yoga Karaka. The reason being, I had discussed this also multiple number of times. If a planet has the lordship of any of the Trikona house, and the same planet also has the lordship of any of the bad houses, that is 6 or 8 or 12, that planet will always be a Yoga Karaka. The same applies for Lagnesh too, the lord of the first house. Because the first house is also a Trikona house. All right. So Mercury in this particular Lagna chart will be a Yoga Karaka planet. Now let's look at the 6th house. So the 6th house is ruled by Cancer. That is the planet Moon. So Moon has the lordship of one particular house in this particular Lagna chart, and that house itself is a bad house, that is a 6th house. So Moon in this Lagna chart will be a Maraka planet. Now let's look at the 7th house. Now the lord of the 7th house is an enemy of the Lagnesh, because the lord of the 7th house is Sun, because the 7th house is ruled by Leo, and Sun is having an enemy relationship, not a friendly relationship. It is incompatible with the Lagnesh, that is Saturn. So Sun in this particular Lagna chart will be a Maraka planet. All right. So I think I had discussed about all of the planets. Yes. So I had discussed about all of the 7 planets for Aquarius Lagna. I'll just go back to the Capricorn Lagna once, because I think I had forgotten to point out the Isht Dev for Capricorn Lagna. All right. So the Isht Dev for Capricorn Lagna is the lord of the 5th house. Here the 5th house is ruled by Taurus. So the lord of the 5th house is Venus. So a person who has an ascendant, who has a Lagna of Capricorn, are highly suggested to worship Ma Lakshmi. All right. Because if you worship Ma Lakshmi, means you are also pleasing Venus, and that will give highly auspicious results for your horoscope for you. All right. So the Ishta Dev for the Capricorn Lagna is Ma Lakshmi. And for the Aquarius Lagna, the Isht Dev is the lord of the 5th house. Here the 5th house is ruled by Mercury. The lord of the 5th house is Mercury. It's ruled by Gemini. So for an Aquarius Lagna, the Isht Dev is Lord Ganesh. So if you worship Lord Ganesh, if you're having an ascendant, if you're having a Lagna of Aquarius, if you worship Lord Ganesh, you will do wonders for your life. All right. Because Lord Ganesh is the Isht Dev for Aquarius Lagna. Let's go to the Pisces Lagna. So you can pause the video and you can draw a Lagna chart for Pisces ascendant. All right. Where the first house is ruled by Pisces, that is 12. The second house is ruled by Aries. The third house is ruled by Taurus. The fourth house is ruled by Gemini. The fifth house is ruled by Cancer. The sixth house is ruled by Leo. The seventh house is ruled by Virgo. The eighth house is ruled by Libra. The ninth house is ruled by Scorpio. The 10th house is ruled by Sagittarius. The 11th house is ruled by Capricorn. And the 12th house is ruled by Aquarius. So let's understand what are the Yoga Karaka and what are the Maraka planets for Pisces Lagna. So the Lagnesh is Jupiter. So Jupiter will be a Yoga Karaka planet for Pisces Lagna. Alright, definitely a Yoga Karaka planet. So now you understand, right? Lagnesh is always a Yoga Karaka. Lord of the Trikona houses is always a Yoga Karaka. The second house is ruled by Mars, and the Lord of the second house, that is Mars, is having a friendly relationship with the Lagnesh, that is Jupiter. So Mars in Pisces Lagna will also be a Yoga Karaka planet. And Mars also has the lordship of a Trikona house, that is the 9th house. Now the third house is ruled by Venus. And Venus has the lordship of one more house, that is the 8th house. So Venus has the lordship of the third house and the 8th house. So Venus in Pisces Lagna will be a Maraka planet. Now let's look at Jupiter. So now Jupiter in again Pisces Lagna will be having a Kendra Adhipati Yoga or a dosha, because Mercury has the lordship of two Kendra houses, that is the 4th house and the 7th house. The 4th house is ruled by Gemini in Pisces Lagna, and the 7th house is ruled by Virgo for the Pisces Lagna, and both of these houses are ruled by Mercury. So now I had discussed about this particular concept also multiple number of times in my previous videos. If Mercury is not placed in the 6th house or the 8th house or the 12th house, Mercury will be a Yoga Karaka planet for Pisces Lagna. But if the same Mercury is placed in either of the 6th house or the 8th house or the 12th house, then this Mercury will have Kendra Adhipati Dosh, not the Yoga. And Mercury will become a Maraka planet. Some professionals also say that for a Kendra Adhipati Dosh to form, the 3rd house is also considered along with the 6th house or the 8th house or the 12th house. But I only consider the 6th house, 8th house, 12th house, because right now in today's world, 3rd house is auspicious because it definitely gives good results after a lot of hard work. All right. So after a lot of patience, after a lot of struggles, after a lot of hard work, 3rd house indicates great results. And 3rd house also is a Karaka full of a lot of good things. Here 6th house, 8th house and 12th house, all of these three houses are the Karaka of one or two good things. But the 3rd house is a Karaka of many good things. So I cannot compare 3rd house I cannot keep 3rd house in the same level as 6th or 8th or 12th. All right. 3rd house is way better. All right. So let's look at Moon. So Moon in Pisces Lagna is a Yoga Karaka planet because Moon has the lordship of a Trikona house, that is the 5th house. Sun is a Maraka planet for Pisces Lagna because Sun has the lordship of one house, that is a bad house, that is a 6th house. All right. And let me see, okay, let's look at Venus. I've already discussed. Mars I had already discussed. Jupiter is the Lagnesh itself will be a Yoga Karaka planet. So you will also notice here that Jupiter also has the lordship of two houses, two Kendra houses, the 1st house and the 10th house. All right. So the 1st house is a Kendra house also and is a Trikona house also. But for Lagnesh, Kendra Adipati Yoga or Kendra Adipati Dosh does not apply. They are not, this particular concept is not applicable when I talk about, or when we talk about Lagnesh. We means all the practitioners of Vedic astrology. Saturn in this particular Lagna will be a Maraka planet because Saturn has the lordship of the 11th house and the 12th house. All right. So Saturn will be a Maraka planet for Pisces Lagna. So I think I have discussed about all of the ascendants, all of the Lagna, and what are the Yoga Karaka planet, what are the Maraka planet for each and every Lagna. All right. I had discussed about that in detail. So now whenever suppose a horoscope will pop up in front of you, either using an online application, you will be using an online application, of course, to create a Lagna chart for certain birth details. All right. So whenever that Lagna chart will be reflected in front of you, now you will know in detail that for a particular Lagna chart, by default, what are the Yoga Karaka planets and what are the Maraka planets and what are the Samgrahas. All right. Now you will know. But again, I'm repeating, even though I had repeated about this particular thing multiple number of times, but still I'll do it for the last time. For a particular planet to be labeled as completely Yoga Karaka or absolutely Yoga Karaka, the placement of the planet is very important. Let's go back to Pisces Lagna. I had discussed that Jupiter is a Yoga Karaka planet because Jupiter is a Lagnesh itself. But if the same Jupiter is placed in either of the 8th house or the 12th house or the 6th house, then Jupiter will be a Maraka. If this Jupiter is debilitated, then Jupiter will be a Maraka. All right. So you have to understand that even though Jupiter, Mars, Moon for a Pisces Lagna is labeled as Yoga Karaka, ultimately the Yoga Karaka will depend upon the placement of these planets. All right. If they are placed in anywhere of this particular horoscope, which is not the 6th, 8th and 12th, they will definitely be the Yoga Karaka. All right. Only if whatever I had mentioned in the Yoga Karaka column, only if these planets are mentioned or they are residing in the 6th house or the 8th house or the 12th house, then they will be Marakas. All right. The Yoga Karaka will convert into Maraka until and unless there is a Viparit Rajyog, until and unless they are getting combusted by sun. I'm talking about the Yoga Karaka planets being placed in bad houses. Until and unless they are debilitated in bad houses and there is a Neech Bhang. All right. So under such circumstances, a Yoga Karaka planet will function very auspiciously even though they are placed in 6th or 8th or 12th house, or even though they are debilitated. But only when they are combusted by the sun and they are placed in the 6th, 8th and 12th house, by default they will not give good results. For that, if they are Yoga Karakas and if they are placed in 6th, 8th and 12th house, and if they are combusted, means if they are getting ast by sun, then only you are suggested to wear gemstones for those planets, for the Yoga Karaka planets, and you will be getting the good results even though such planets are placed in 6th, 8th or 12th house. Why am I saying this? Everything I will discuss in detail in the upcoming class. I'm just touching these touch points so that you will understand when a planet becomes Yoga Karaka ultimately and when a planet becomes Maraka ultimately. All right. And whatever I had mentioned about the Maraka planets for all of the Lagnas, the Maraka planets will not become Yoga Karaka depending on their placements. The Maraka planets only becomes Yoga Karaka when there is a certain Raj Yoga forming. All right. Whether it is a Viparit Raj Yoga, whether it is a Rashi Parivartan Yoga, whether it is a Nij Bhang Rajyog, all right. So only in such cases, the Maraka planets, whatever Maraka planets I had mentioned for all of these Lagnas, then only such Maraka planets will convert into a Yoga Karaka. All right. I think I had discussed about all of the points which I wanted to discuss in the topic of understanding what are the Yoga Karaka planets, what are the Maraka planets for all the Lagnas. If you still have any doubts, if you did not understand some of the things which I was discussing, please share your doubts, your queries in the comment section, and I'll answer them. I'll definitely try my level best to clear all of your doubts. And yes, I think for this particular topic, this is all what I wanted to discuss. Whatever important points are there, I had discussed each and everything with you regarding Maraka and Yoga Karaka. So before you say goodbye for this particular class, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, like my videos, share my videos, and again, please share your queries and your doubts and your questions in the comment section, and I'll answer them. All right. I'll see you in the next video in the next class. Thank you.